Hi, I'm the Smoking Elk, and today we are making Spanish rice, otherwise known as paella. So first and foremost, I'm not even going to insult the tradition, the history, the culture, the religion of paella, because this is not an authentic paella. So I'm just going to get that out there now. Us Brits, we call it paella. I'm going to try and say paella throughout the video. If I don't, I apologise. This is my version. It's going to include nduja, not traditional. It's going to include lobster stock, not traditional. It's going to include seafood, not traditional. But I'm hoping it's going to be pretty damn tasty. So we're going to be cooking this on the Kadai fireball. We're going to start with a fire of silver birch, and then we're going to be using Sarmiento wine vines for more heat towards the end to get that sucker out on the base of the paella. I'm hoping this is going to be a banger. Let's get the fire lit and let's crack on. This is the paella pan that had actually been rusting in my garden, I'm sorry to say, for about a year or so. But we've given it a good old scrub down, taken it back to the metal, and we've given it a couple of coats of seasoning, so this is good to go. So we're just going to sit that on there, and that's where it's going to sit for the cook. So we've got the pan nice and hot. We're going to go in with a good few glugs of olive oil, and then straight away in with the onion, and we're just going to soften that down for 6-7 minutes. So you'll notice we've got this quite high above the heat. We don't want too fierce a heat. We don't want to fry the onions. We just want to soften them, sweat them down. So the onions are nice and soft. We're going to go ahead and add the garlic into there. And we've got this gorgeous nduja from Dutchy Charcuterie that we're just going to dot around the pan, let that melt into those onions, get that beautiful flavour of that nduja in there. This is rich, paprika-y. It's a soft, spicy salami. So we're just going to dot that in there. Like I said, it's not traditional, but we try new things. Hopefully it's going to be a banger. Just going to give that a cook down. You can see already the nduja is melting into those onions. The onions are nice and soft. So we're just going to cook that for about 1 to 2 minutes at the low heat, and then we're going to increase the temperature, chuck in some white wine and our tomatoes, and we're going to let that simmer away at a nice high simmer. So that's nice and soft. We're going to take this closer to the heat now and start building, and just take that closer to the fire by adjusting this chain. So we've got a nice intense heat now, so we're going to go in with some of this Pata Primero Spanish wine. Not too much, because we want to drink it, so about 50ml, that'll do us. And we're just going to let that burn off slightly, burn the alcohol off for about 1 minute. In with some tomatoes. We're going to go in with about 300 grams of chopped tomatoes. These are tin tomatoes, I haven't got any fresh. You can use fresh, I find tin tomatoes work just as good. So we're going to go in with almost a tin, about 3/4 of a tin, and get those in there. And then just give that a good stir to combine. And then once this comes to the boil, we're just going to reduce the heat again slightly. We're just going to take it up 1 little level and just leave that at a nice simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes. And this is called a sofrito. This is the base of the paella. We don't want it to burn, but like I said, as soon as this starts bubbling away, we're just going to take it up a level higher, just to get it away from that fierce heat again. Simmer it away and just build those flavours. Before we do that, we're going to go in with a touch of paprika, only about ½ teaspoon, because we have got the nduja in there, and we've got this saffron infused water, about 2 tablespoons of water with saffron in there, so we're just going to pour that in as well. The paprika and the saffron are going to help to give us the wonderful colour that we're after. So once that's stirred in, we're going to get this away from the heat and simmer it away. It appears Winston has come out to join us. You can obviously smell the fish, but our sofrito is pretty much there. So we're going to go ahead. We've got this bomber rice, which is one of the better rices to use. You can use a Borio. Whatever you do, use short grain rice, don't use long grain rice, don't use basmati. Try and get the best rice you can for a paella. So we're going to stick about 300 grams of this into the paella pan. It's not a paella pan either, it's a paella. Paella is the name of the pan. See, we're all learning. So in with the rice, and we're just going to stir that in so it's all pretty even throughout the pan. We don't want to disturb it too much. When we're cooking, we're literally just going to leave the rice to do its thing. Now we're going to go in with the stock. This is a lobster stock that I made from a couple of lobsters that I was sent a few days ago. So we made a stock out of this. A good quality fish stock will suffice, but we're going to use lobster stock, and we're going to go in with about 750 ml. So just pour that evenly into the pan. And now we want to increase the heat, so I'm just going to take this down a notch. Take it down the notch on the chain, and we're going to start using some of these Sarmiento vines to increase the heat and get that bubbling away. We just lowered the chains on the Kadai, take it closer to the heat, and we're going to start using these Sarmiento vines. We're just going to pop those on, and they're just going to give you nice little bursts of heat, because we want to get this to a nice rolling simmer, a nice hot simmer. So we're just going to chuck a few of these in and get this bubbling away. So that has been a nice rigorous simmer, a slow boil, whatever you want to call it, a nice rolling simmer boil. We're at the stage now, there's still enough moisture in there. The rice is almost cooked, but we're going to put the seafood in now. We're just going to dot this around, we're going to nestle it into the rice. We've got squid, prawns, mussels. We've probably got too much for the pan. We're going to try and fill the pan as much as we can and see where it takes us. And then, as if that wasn't enough, we've got these langoustines, so we're just going to find some room just to kind of nestle them on top. They look great, they taste great, so we're going to put those on. That's been in there about 5 minutes so far. We've got a nice heat again, we're still using the vines. That's been in about 5 minutes. For the last 5 minutes, I'm just going to cover with a bit of foil just to finish cooking, make sure that's all cooked through. All these mussels are opening though, but we want to make sure the prawns and the langoustines are cooked through. So a few more vines into the fire, foil over the top, and then we're pretty much done. So there is my unauthentic seafood paella. Smells incredible. Let's go in and have a bit of that rice. Oh mate, wow. And I'm not just saying that. The andouille running through the rice with the wine, paprika, saffron. That is an absolute winner. Go in with a prawn. Seriously, this is an absolute banger. I'm really impressed. Sorry to any Spaniards that it's not authentic, but it's bloody tasty. I'm gonna take this inside. It's a nice crusty bread, loads of butter on it. Dig in. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Happy days.